Good morning, good morning, good morning. Ancestry Lands, ancestrylands.com. Your host, Philip Davis. Thank you for joining this broadcast today. We are in the morning time on our way to the city of Philadelphia. I thought to do a different video style today, mainly because I wanted to give you all a view of this beautiful sunrise and kind of divulge some of the heavy things on my mind. Let me ask you a question first. Do you ever, I want to say, when I say think in your sleep, I know what that means. I know we're always thinking, our mind is always active, but I mean, do things dwell on you while you sleep? And you ever wake up and have an epiphany, or wake up and find that you have an answer to a problem that you might have had the previous day, or you had some kind of awareness or an aha moment, to put it plainly, for those of us needing some simplicity in my explanation. I say this because, you know, I in my flexibility as a nurse, flexibility as a business manager, and looking at different avenues on how to sometimes gain exposure, how to also make money, and how to just kind of scale up within a business. You are on this journey with me. You are able to listen, if you are listening to, you know, my thoughts, things that I'm planning to do. You see them in their inception, and then you also get to see the outcome later on if you're watching this, because a lot of these videos, they are chapters in a story that is what Ancestry Lands will be once I hand it off to my children when they're much older. The good thing is they're just, you know, they're under 10 years old right now, and so there's a lot of time to see this matriculation of how I scale this business up and grow. And right now, folks, we are passing into the Villanova area, where Villanova University is located. Shout out to the Wildcats. My brothers attended there 1 year. Shout out to my brother. And even though he doesn't need it. But at the same time, you know, I ask you all, there are different phases of a business, and a lot of people get bogged down into just the money-making part of, you know, the business needs to make money, business needs to make money. Yes, that is true. A business absolutely needs to make money. That is one of the foundational tenets of any business, is a business that can make money. But a lot of times people forget the other components of business. Now, you don't need a business degree to observe something that is natural to your environment. A business degree only gives you experience in one area of a particular business. I don't, you know, such as a business administration, but it does not teach you how always to do marketing and other things like that. Now, we're merging, and this guy is still in this lane. This is crazy. Right here, this car, see this right here? This person is speeding through the right lane on a merge, and when you're driving, you're supposed to be in the middle. This red car that just got over into the left lane, it should have been in the middle lane. That's why I cannot get over and merge into the main traffic any which way. And this is from experience, all right? Experience in failing, it's really experience in succeeding. All of that experience is pretty much how all business people start. You can have a great idea, you know, even like with Facebook, you know, with Meta, whatever names they change it into. You know, their first experience with the, what is that, you know, digital world, it didn't go so well. You know, it wasn't exactly a selling point, and they've had to retry and do things over again, and that's part of business. It really is. But again, when you're only focused on, you know, the buying and selling component, which a lot of people do, hey, it's great money to be made if you can make something and sell something for $1 million. But if you have a continued business, where is your business visibility? I asked that, you might have just seen that was actual, I think it was maybe a falcon that just passed by over top. Your business needs to have some level of visibility. Now, a lot of times for people such as myself and Land, there are buy and sell groups, Facebook, you know, postings, but they're pretty much making a post no more than someone selling, you know, some free kids clothing, or, you know, that they're on the same level of posting on a one-to-one. But how do you expand your brand awareness, your business awareness, because there's one thing to expose a brand, and to brand build, but there's another thing that your brand may not always be attached to your business name. You know, like we sell vacant land, and it's Ancestry Lands, so everything goes under that corporate entity. But at the same time, some people might be selling a product, I don't know, let's just say a sneaker or hair trimmers, but the company is different than the actual product itself. Andis is a good one. I think that's owned. Andis are trimmers. Anybody gets a haircut, Andis, Andis. That's a type of trimmer. I think that was owned by a company named Wahl, Wahl. And again, the name of the trimmer might be different than the actual company owners. So again, how do you recognize the two? And Andis trimmers, I'm not promoting them. It's just they're a widely used, widely known hairline trimmer. They're kind of I would say standard. When I see barbers using trimmers, I see them using Andis trimmers and other products. So again, the name of the product is also recognizable, but how does the company become the same, recognized by their product the same way? So you've got two things where you might be selling a product or have a company that is really run and it's your name. Like again, Ancestry Lands has a name, but so does Philip Davis. So again, the goal is to make sure that you are able to scale both of those things up for brand awareness and the company owner awareness. Because again, if you own a business, and I'm speaking to small-time business owners, I'm not talking, or small business owners, not small-time, small business owners, I'm not talking to the corporate giants that, have massive amounts of shareholders and stock options and things like that. I'm not speaking to that particular population, although a lot of things I say may be applicable, even if they are a medium or large-sized corporation. Everything we look at life, we think we need a degree for. And again, where did the people who founded this country, who became, the first millionaires, the first billionaires in the early 1900s, the industrialists, they didn't have a business degree. They didn't go to college. They had business acumen, business knowledge, business savvy. They had people who advised them. It was a culmination of people that formed an idea led by a person who pretty much was the ringleader, CEO. Now they have all these titles for those kind of people. But again, the founder is the person that laid the foundation. And just like we do and we promote in vacant land, any foundation is laid, any land is owned, and any real estate or any building that's of sound structure is laid with first a good foundation. It doesn't matter. A strong family is laid down, is created with a good foundation from the husband and wife, or whatever your marital situation is, because that's not, husband and wife is not the uniform of marriage nowadays, but it still is. The partner A and partner B need to have a strong foundation of clear, concise communication and expectations of what are the roles, what are our power dynamics in that relationship. And it's the same way with any business that you're in, where you have to understand how to lay the foundation outside of just selling one particular product. Now, I'm in bumper to bumper right now. That's how it always is going into Philly. It really is. It's something you got to deal with when you're traveling, but it's the cost of doing business, baby. Cost of working. And folks, let me stop for a second and tell you all, my book is available on Amazon, Getting Dollars from Dirt, A Beginner's Guide to Vacant Land Investing by Philip Davis, myself. I'm going to just always reference the fact that, again, that's built upon experiential knowledge of what I've done. Not someone who got a degree and they've learned how to be an expert in something. I'm an expert by doing. One thing you'll learn about me that I think some of my friends truly value and other people somewhat despise is that I'm a doer. I'm not a talker, I'm a doer. I talk here to let you know what I've done or what I'm about to do. But again, I'm a doer. So when you're reading that book, you're looking at the success I've had over time in just short of 5 or now 6 straight years of being in business, owning land, buying land, selling land, what I've learned from land, finding out the little details, the nitty-gritty things. And that's where my nursing comes in, because the foundation of being a nurse is understanding how doctors diagnose, how they medically treat, what protocols to use when patients have symptoms. That foundation laid the way to me being a better nurse for land, just like I do when I'm a nurse for a patient. Whether that's hospital or dialysis clinic, pediatrics, whatever I do, that foundational nursing I take with me to make sure that I understand medical history or the history of the land. I know exactly what policies and procedures I need to do in the form of zoning. You've seen me interview people. And if you look back and take a step back from Ancestry as a whole, outside of doing land, you can see that a lot of that knowledge brought forth is put into these videos now. And one of the beautiful things that I do love that about traveling to work, with the exception of the traffic, is watching the sunrise. You know, I get up just right at the crack. I leave, not get up. I get right up at the crack of dawn. And, you know, in these videos that I'm doing now, you'll get to be able to see the winters, you'll see the springs, you'll see the summers, and then you'll see the fall. So you'll be able to see 4 seasons on these drives that I do. So again, you know, when you start off with the product, like I've started off with just land, which a lot of people do. And hey, you know what? Selling a property, buying a property for $20,000, selling it for $150 is great, right? The only problem is you either use that money to reinvest in your business, right? And most of these people have it stuck under an LLC, but they don't have the visibility that they need. You know, you can't Google them the same way you can when you try to Google me. And that's not to say that I'm better than them in any kind of way, because realistically it narrows down to what are your profit margins in a business when you do your taxes each year. So, you know, that's where the I guess you could say where that's the devil in the details, which Ancestry Lands has been a profitable company. I mean, you know, I'm not $1 million company, but, you know, again, this what I've been able to do is build a business that, you know, I didn't have to work because I had to or have to. I worked to supplement. Now I work to supplement my land income. Well, when I started this business, I did land to supplement my work income. You know, so I've been able to enjoy life with my children. And again, you know, life comes in seasons where I'm at now to go back and do the full-time thing. You know, because the economy took a really hard turn, and it didn't allow you to live off the fat of the land. When you don't live off the fat of the land, you got to do things to make sure that you know, keep that money coming in at that volume and level when things are low. And that's what people do not do. And that's a business decision that I've made, because my family is run as a business that we love. You know, it's a family business. The Davis family is a business. My children are new up and coming upstarts within the company that will be, you know, aggregated to their possible positions and their usefulness to the company to be able to build their own brands in the future. And that's where you're running a legacy business, but that's how you actually create a legacy family business. Because I honestly, my business that I do now may not be the business that my children choose to pursue, but it could be a launching pad for them. So I think in those terms, because you got all the time people, oh, you know, your children may not do exactly what you want to do. Yeah, I understand that. But what it is that they have the option to choose to. They don't have the option to choose what society wants for them. They have the option to choose what daddy's provided for them. And they can always go back to the plantation of working and getting a degree and doing all of that stuff, working all your life for a 401k that doesn't really help you out at the end of your life. And for those people who have the option, that's just it. That's the way life works. So back to building your business is that you have to build your business by first being able to sell a product, right? And again, I get people all the time. They want to do Google ads. They want to do this, do that, do this, do that. There are a lot of places like Facebook Marketplace, just for me and land. It's not just a land thing. If you can't sell your product on Facebook Marketplace on your own, then again, we talked about capital in your business. You're taking on debt. This whole fascination with taking on massive amounts of debt without actually having a viable product is beyond me. I don't understand it. You know, and when I look at other videos from other content creators talking about other areas relating to my business that are lateral there, I see a lot of times what you have is everybody wants these quick money making businesses that really are just taking on debt to spend, not taking on debt to grow and become richer in capital. They're not, again, they don't have that, you know? And a lot of people can be successful just based off their knowledge of what they know about doing business like land. I'm just using land as a point of reference. You can learn a lot and be an expert on how to run, scale a business that you've only gotten to a certain point, but you have more knowledge than you do have more experience or skill, because you may lack certain skills. Again, you get a degree in business administration, but you may be great at business administration, but you're not good at marketing, hiring, other areas, payroll. But when you have a business like mine, where you're able to kind of do those parts and learn how to build those skills, you become way more knowledgeable than someone who just has a degree. Because even when you go to work, right? Think about this. In a corporate world, what do a lot of companies want from you when you start out, when you have a degree? First thing they ask you is, do you have any work experience, right? So you can't say that experience is not a component of, you know, what I want to say, experience is a big component. Hold on, I gotta get over, folks. And this is the problem with people, man. They don't let you over, man. You're trying to get over, and people just, they don't let you get in, man. But it's okay. We're on our way. Because they still want business experience. Business experience still matters. I'm sorry for the sun glare. It is what it is. You're going to go out of focus. Stay with me. We're back in focus now. Good. Thank you for waiting. They still need you to have some level of experience. So experience does matter, even when you're starting a job. We're in front of the shop right truck. That's cool. We managed to get in front of them, folks. That's so cool. That is so cool. Let me just turn my camera now that we got a little bit more room. Right, this dude sees that this is a one-lane merging and the truck is still right up on my ass. Any which way. And this guy's driving way too close for me. There's stop and go traffic, and this guy's got 18-wheelers and all this stuff here, and he's right up on my katukas. Any which way, they do require work experience, or they pay you according to your work experience, right? So that means that work experience does have some relevance to how much you get paid when you start off at a company, right? It does. It matters very, very much. So if it matters there, then what is it that you can associate that or make a parallel to that's going to matter when you're building any kind of business? It does. It absolutely does matter. Right now, folks, we're approaching, we're not too far away from Girard Avenue and the sports complex where I believe that's on the other side of town, but Girard Avenue where the Philadelphia Zoo is here. Just since, you know, it's a little bit more in the daytime, early morning, you can see things. So that does matter. So you're growing a business, scaling a product, or trying to sell a product, but you've got to be able to learn through marketing, which is the first point of knowledge that you enter in when you're doing a business. I'm talking about a single owner or you know, multi-member owned small businesses. You know, it's not the time to shoot right to Google Ads to jump the line, because you need to be able to promote more than just a product. You need to be able to promote why people should trust you in buying a product. And a lot of times that trust decides in, how your product is delivered to the viewer, to the buyer. Because you have to look at yourself as putting yourself in a buyer's shoes. You're on Facebook, you're on whatever Google search engine, and you see this particular product pop up. How is it presented? Now, we're trained and conditioned to see advertising in a certain way, but a lot of people tend to kind of skimp on that, It's like when you go to a bar and the bartender gives you more juice, more chaser than alcohol in a drink, and they still charge you the same amount, even though you got maybe 10-15% alcohol in your drink. You're not really getting a whole lot. You really got you really much got a soda with a little bit of alcohol in it. Like you got a glorified wine cooler. So, again, your visibility needs to be something that is scaled up. And a lot of people don't concentrate on that. I remember when I first got into this land business, man, it was like people hadn't even bought one property and they were already looking to hire somebody. And they were just scared, and everyone was looking to find something else to do the work for them, and they did not want to do the work. And the reason why I say that you need to do the work yourself is because, again, when something goes wrong or something's not working in your business, how would you know? You're going to start off in the business, you're going to have people working for you, and this is like a painter starting a painting company and they never painted. Not one time. So, and again, when you look at people who are managers and they have never been in the position of the people that they manage, the respect factor for those employees, it's not there. They respect the position, but they don't respect the person because their wealth of knowledge is so limited or non-existent relative to the field. It's the same way within your business. The people around you, they know more than you do, and it's not even that you have people who are experts around you. You have people who just know a lot more than you do because you don't know anything at all. Their thing is, I could get people in and get this running and things like that. Well, we have AI for that now. But a lot of people still try to scale in a human capacity, and still with AI, you still have to give AI inputs. And again, this still goes to the point is that when you go to AI, you're still going to a knowledge base that is has vast more access to knowledge than you do. But you still do not have the knowledge. So even when you're giving it inputs, you're still asking for, you don't know if the output that the AI is giving you is qualifying what you're trying to sell. You don't know that. You have no idea. And that's what I'm saying, that, again, it starts with your visibility, but it starts with you doing the work. A lot of people won't do the work. They want to get someone in. They want to get massive amounts of debt to take on, but they won't do the work in how to actually sell, market, strategize, scale up, because they won't spend nights working on their craft. Steph Curry, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, they didn't have AI do the free throw shooting for them, or Steph Curry's way over 3-point shooting, call it 5-point shooting. They didn't have, that wasn't them relying on someone else to do the work for them. They had to do the work to become experts in their craft. Jeff Bezos, he started, again, just listen to this. He started Amazon in his garage. Yes, he had people around him. Yes, he did. But again, the cream rises to the top through whatever acumen that you have that gives you an advantage over the people around you. Yes, you might have a person that's great at sales. They might be a great salesman, but they are a poor business owner. They are a poor marketer. They're poor at branding. So it doesn't mean that one qualifies you for them all. But again, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but a jack of all trades is better than none. So I say that to you again, where you got to build that visibility. But first you got to find out, can you sell the product that you're selling? Because in your mind, you feel the product's great. I think land is a great thing to have. I love owning land. I do. When I look at that versus a house, I don't have to do any upkeep. The land's been there before I was there. When I die, the land will be there after I'm there. And the title of ownership follows whom. It's been other owners that ain't around. They've had the land. Now I own the land. It passes right through. And the one thing I know is that that land has been here so long as the earth has been, the earth has been in existence. Or whatever, that particular, so long as that the continent has been the way it is. And yeah, people don't like California now. Well, guess what? In 100 years, California going to be a whole different place. Just like 100 years ago, California, you see parts of California weren't even developed. And that's what people get bogged down on. They're stuck on the idea of you got to like the state in order to own the land. No, you need to own the land because of what's going on in the state. And look at the knowledge behind the transition of what's happening in California. California is getting a new population each day. That's called population growth, population migration. Southern California, where these properties are, and this is to give you, again, you got to keep your eye on the prize and follow the information. They all are looking at land like, oh, I want to live in Tennessee. And then, black people say that, and then they talk about racism. I'm trying to figure it out. But California is letting a lot of brown people and black and brown people through there in large, vast numbers. They're making sure those people get up there, and those are going to be the future landowners and people that tend to rise up economically because they're buying up land. And again, who's selling them land? Who? Right? If you said me, you're definitely right. And again, that opportunity is available to everyone. But again, because we think locally, we don't think globally, meaning that you're thinking local to your city, to your state, you're limiting yourself in the fact that I don't live in California and I own land in more than just one state. And you hear about this with celebrities, but we don't practice this on a smaller scale where it's accessible to us. But again, I'm on this side of the coast, and I have properties in California. Well, how do I bring an East Coast residence to where my product is in the West Coast? I start promoting and getting myself visible in the East Coast area where I live at. That's the second component. First is you got to be able to sell your product, right? You got to be able to market it. You got to get the product out so people know and they can buy and give you the capital. The capital is what you need in order to do the next part, which is to create your exposure, right? That's through brand awareness. Now, I've never gone to any business school, but I seem to be following this right down in a business way. Now, there's a lot of shortcuts people could say, but I would ask, okay, outside of the shortcut, you took a shortcut, but what's your experience? Because taking the shortcut doesn't mean you walk the path. It just means you took a shortcut. Just because you take a shortcut doesn't mean that you can climb the mountain when it gets to that tough part again. And that's the other thing I keep talking to my children about. After a while, and you see those numbers about businesses failing within the first year, 5 years, well, we are at year 6. And there's that thing called staying power. Let me repeat that again. It's called staying power. You know why people trust Heinz? Because they've been around for a long time. When you see a company that's been around since 1812, you know they have staying power. This is a company that's managed through rough, good, and bad times. That's what makes something last. Because when the money's coming in, that's good. When the money doesn't, how does your business adapt? How do you adjust for market, inflation, deflation, things that we're seeing right now? How do you adjust for that? And you see how businesses fall because they're only in it for the good times and they have no staying power. And I honestly, I don't know where I have room to listen or take heed from a business like that, because all they can do is quintessentially show you how to get rich, but they don't show you how to build wealth. And so on. You see people who get rich by winning the lottery, but they don't stay wealthy because they end up losing it. So what's the point of having you could win $1 million and lose it all in a year? There's nothing you have. You don't have any wealth. So again, in the next point of this part, what I'm talking about is that, again, I start creating brand awareness. And I talked about this before, folks. One thing you got to do, join your Chamber of Commerce. Local Chamber of Commerce. Show up, let people put eyes on you. And the other part is that brand awareness, you represent your brand. How people perceive you will be how people perceive your brand. It's one of the reasons why Timberlands, which were normally used by construction workers, became a hip-hop thing. And every time now you see Timberlands, Timberland boots, Timberland products, they're the standard uniform of black people wearing footwear in the wintertime, especially in the 90s. They became identified with being part of black culture, even though that is not what they were originally designed for. Because things got associated with a brand. You even see Ralph Lauren back in the day. He did not want people of color being associated with his brand. And that is because of what came along with that association. He didn't want his business being attached to that because it was going to hurt his actual bottom line being able to do business with other companies. Because his clothing line was not meant for that. That's according to him. I've worn Ralph Lauren as an African American. I thought it was good clothing, but they did not want it to be associated with the street culture of hip hop. The other part of the culture they were okay with. But again, you got to think about how to scale your brand and create brand awareness, and you got to be aware of the perception of your brand. A lot of this go woke, go broke thing is happening because people are fighting against or trying to convince themselves that they can go against company perception by their own client base. You cannot do that. I, as a black man, had seen more eyebrows raised to me being a landowner, and that is because the perception of blacks is that, or African Americans, is that we don't own land. There is no perception of blacks being landowners. So again, folks, I'm gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna go to part 2 about building up on this video about what it takes to actually scale and have a growing business with staying power. I am your host, and good morning. You have a great day. This is the beautiful city of Philadelphia, city of brotherly love. You can see that right here in the back, in the backdrop of my video. It's not New York with the skyscrapers, but any which way, folks, remember, go and subscribe. Ancestry Lands, ancestrylands.com. We'll continue on part 2 of this video later on. I am your host, Philip Davis. I hope you have been educated, enlightened, and somewhat entertained, folks. Make sure you go and subscribe and buy my book on Amazon, Getting Dollars from Dirt, A Beginner's Guide to Vacant Land Investing by Philip Davis. The commercial's coming up right after this, folks. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Peace.
Are you confused with today's real estate market? With high interest rates and overpriced housing, it can be hard to find something to own at the right price. Available on Amazon, Getting Dollars from Dirt by author Philip H. Davis is a game-changing book that invites you to embark on a thrilling exploration of this often overlooked asset class. This book is your roadmap to unlocking the secrets of vacant land investment. Inside these pages, you will uncover the transformative power of vacant land as a wealth-building tool. Discover how to spot promising properties, assess their true value, and capitalize on market trends. From understanding zoning and permits to leveraging financing strategies, you'll gain the knowledge and confidence to make savvy investment decisions. With each page you turn, you'll gain a deeper understanding of the profound impact your investments can have on the world around you. Getting Dollars from Dirt is not just a guidebook, it's a call to action. Whether you're a seasoned investor or a curious novice, this book will empower you to tap into the immense potential of vacant land and embark on a journey toward financial freedom and a brighter future.